What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. It's episode number 90 and we start today's episode off with the penultimate game of the Champions League group stage. As you can see, 4 wins in our first 4 games, and due to how the group is looking, we have already guaranteed qualification and top the group as well. So for our final 2 games at home to Antalyaspor and away at Old Trafford against Manchester United, I would be able to field totally weakened lineups, knowing regardless of the 2 results, we could lose both of those games, it would not matter, we would still qualify as group winners. And I mentioned in the last episode, I know it sounds a bit obvious, but I really do believe the best thing to do as Raheem Sterling gets possibly his final goal for the club for leaving to Bayern Munich in January. I really do feel like the best thing to do in a European group is just go all out in your first 3, possibly 4 games. Try and win every single one. I mean, you want to win every single one anyway, but if you really give it your all in the first 3 games, you get those wins on board, you separate yourself from the 2nd, 3rd and 4th place teams. It gives you amazing luxury knowing that, again, with like games to spare, you can rotate your entire team. And as we know, in December, there's so much football to be played. There are so many fixtures. In November, quite a few as well. Being able to rotate your entire team in midweek and not have tired legs on the weekend, it's so crucial if you want to compete for multiple trophies in a season. But still, yes, got an early goal through Raheem Sterling. Then we got a second one through Tammy Abraham. I think his first goal since starting for the club, made it 2-0. And then right before the break, we go 3 goals up. Another one for the English forward, who of course has just joined Roma in real life. Abraham with the header there makes it 3-0 for his brace right before the break. Bilbao Arteta with the assist as well. I quite like him. You know, we signed quite a few youngsters, including this guy here, Juan Martinez, saying thanks for giving me the chance to show you what I can do. Obviously, he's one of the youngsters we brought in the summer transfer window. I quite like some of the youngsters we've got, and you know, I've been talking about it throughout the course of this series. I found it hard in this year's FIFA to find like amazing new gens and regens, you know, early on into a career mode save. Normally it takes quite a few seasons, and by that point, you know, you're probably closing in on the finale of your career mode save, right? And of course, through youth scouting as well, I also found that a lot more difficult this year. Perhaps it's more realistic, but it is of course more challenging. But he and Bilbao Arteta, who just won a free transfer, have both got game time this season, have both done really well. And hey, speaking of players that have got game time this season and done really well, for the first goal of our second game in today's episode, travelling to Basque to take on Athletic Bilbao, I'd say 2 of our 3 best players at the moment combined for our first, and then 1 of the 3 combined for our second. And I'm not kidding, guys. I mentioned him in the last episode. He's becoming one of my favourite players in this team so early on into our stint here with Barcelona. Pedro Porro. He is the ideal player in this system, and I talked about it in the summer window. You know, the left mid and the right mid positions in this team needed to be filled with good players that can operate both on the offensive end and on the defensive end. We spent over £130 million on Marc Cucurella, 70 million on Pedro Porro, £200 million on those 2 players, but they've both been great, and this guy in particular has been absolutely sensational. He set up both our goals in the first half. Bilbao would half the deficit in the second half. Well, as you can see, I took no chances whatsoever. Porro tripped up in the area, carrying a slight knock, and I was like, right, take this guy off and wrap him up in cotton wool. I cannot have this guy get injured, man. He is so crucial and so underrated in this team. So he was forced off, and unfortunately, despite being in a position where we're leading by 2 goals, surrendered 2, 1 late on with 12 minutes to go as Bilbao battled back from 2-goal deficit to, in the end, draw the game 2-2. And as you see here, Pedro Porro is going to be out for 4 weeks, so a bit of a blow there. He'll be done until the winter break now, so we won't see him again until January, I believe. That's such a shame as well. He's up a rating to 88 overall, and again, 4 goals and 7 assists in 18 games. As we know, he's got those high work rates now, plus the really high stamina as well, which is just perfect for me on that right-hand side. So Pedro Porro down 4 weeks, gutted about that. And I'm going to give the youngster, Juan Martinez, his spot there on the right-hand side of midfield. He's not as good defensively as Pedro Porro, but hopefully he'll fill in and do quite well as a young teenage talent with potential to be special. So right now on the table, as you can see, still top, but Villarreal remaining our closest title threat with Atletico Madrid in 3rd place. It really does look, with Real Madrid after a tough start this season, it's going to be a 3-horse race for the title this year. Long way to go, not even at the halfway point yet, but at the moment you would say that's the most likely outcome. Us, Villarreal and Atletico all challenging for the La Liga title this season. You see our fixtures coming in December, including matchday 6 in the Champions League away at Old Trafford, which again means nothing for us really, even so. So, yeah, obviously the Bilbao game, one thing I wanted to mention there is I also show you Fati's stats. What showed us, he hit 90 overall a couple episodes ago. Whenever a player hits 90, I like to show you how they're now looking. This guy, 99 acceleration, 99 sprint speed, 90s everywhere really with a high medium work rate, and he's only 24 years old. How much better can this guy got? He's not even in his prime yet. It's unbelievable, and 13 goals in 14 La Liga games proves that he's got even more to come in this Barcelona team. But yeah, the Bilbao game, it wasn't that surprising that we ended up drawing it despite getting off to the red hot start and going 2 goals up, because again, I'm having no problem scoring goals this Barcelona team. I know I talked about it in the last episode, it's ironic that we're also the best defensive team in La Liga right now when it really doesn't feel like that. But it's basically exactly what I predicted at the start of the season. I knew we were going to score a ridiculous amount of goals this season, be the highest scoring team by far due to how many offensive pieces we've got. But again, defensively, I think it's going to take at least a season, maybe a season or 2 to get good defensive to this team. Learn the system, learn how to play with 3 at the back, and also as well, just be more secure with our back 3 as well. Sometimes I feel as though I'm really lacking in cohesion and positioning with the back 3, but I'm sure that's something that will come hopefully in time. But still, for the third game of today's episode here, no Pedro Porro heading into this game, so in the end it was time for Cucurella to shine. Got his first goal in the last episode, and this time against Real Betis he set up the 2 goals in this game, both from crosses. Moise Kean getting his 10th of the year, and Dembele getting 1 as well. Crossing in this year's FIFA, I definitely feel is a bit OP. I don't know if you guys agree with me there, but you saw the last 4 goals we scored all come from crosses. Obviously, there was a time a few years ago where, like, crossing it just didn't work. I mean, like, it just was basically pointless, you know. It just never ever worked. You just could not score from crosses. They were either severely overhit or underhit, way too less power, way too much power, you know, never at the right trajectory. It was always just way too high or way too low. It was just very hard to put in pinpoint crosses, but now it does seem like they're a little bit OP. Now, don't get me wrong, the players who got the assist there, Cucurella and Pedro Porro, both have really good crossing stats and curve stats as well. So naturally, you would expect they will be good at crossing anyway. Don't get me wrong, that does obviously make total sense, of course. But even so, sometimes it is a bit OP. And just on the subject of crossing as well, real briefly, I want to ask you guys this question. When was the last time you saw the AI put a cross into the box from open play? Well, you just seen it there. 64 minutes in, Bruno Fernandes lifts one to the back stick and Lautaro Martinez makes it 2-0 here as Old Trafford is shaking as the Red Devils go 2-0 up in the game where they had to win to qualify for the knockout stage of the Champions League alongside us. We fielded a weakened side for the game, so fully expected to lose. Unsurprisingly, man of the match, Bruno Fernandes, who always has a stormer against me, set up the second and scored the first as well. In the end, Manchester United could have drew that game. PSV and Antalyaspor both drew themselves, so the Red Devils only needed a point to go through, which they did. So they'll join us in the knockout stage, but of course we topped the group anyway, so didn't really care if we lost or won, to be honest, because again, resting the team was most important, so they'd be all fit for the game on the weekend away against SD Eibar. But yeah, crossing in FIFA, like I said, it's definitely something which I think is just a bit too OP. The AI never put crosses in from open play unless they're basically inside the area, like Bruno Fernandes was there. And then when they do, it's always incredibly accurate. So I think for next year, EA need to address crossing in FIFA. It needs to be, you know, inconsistent, but again, also still not completely ineffective. Like, it still needs to have not a decent success ratio, because not many crosses get converted from open play in real life anyway, but it just needs the right feel to it to keep it realistic, you know. But still, yeah, Eibar was our 4th and final game of today's episode here, travelling away from home. Took lead through Moise Kean's 11th of the year, heading in from a corner. Once again, another cross goal. Can't prevent them at the moment, our opponents, as we go 1-0 up in 53 minutes in. Slight concern here. Frenkie de Jong going down after a tough challenge and staying down as well. You might notice at the start of the season I was alternating the captaincy between De Jong and Ter Stegen and so on and so forth, but I've given it to De Jong basically permanently now. I just think he is the right choice for the captain. You possibly say Ter Stegen, who's been here the longest, but I've given it to De Jong, and I think that's quite a good choice as well. So Frenkie de Jong is now sort of our official captain for now. Might change it at some point, but I quite like him as captain, to be fair. And in this game, it wasn't about De Jong, it was about Moise Kean. Scored our first and round the goalkeeper for the second, getting his 12th goal in La Liga, making it 2-0 Barcelona. Then in stoppage time, Ansu Fati said, Moise, you might be our main goal scorer, but I'm still our top goal scorer. Makes it 3, stepping in from the left for goal number 14, I think it is, in La Liga right now for our number 17. This dude is just unbelievable. SDI by nil, Barcelona 3. Great to get back-to-back clean sheets in La Liga as well after a tough stretch defensively, but a big win there means we stay top of La Liga for now. Of course, there's still a long way to go, not even at the halfway point yet, but again, I'm trying to get separation between us and Villarreal and Atletico Madrid as we come into the winter break. I want to be several points clear at the moment. We're 3 clear of Villarreal, 4 clear of Atletico Madrid, 3 games to go until the halfway point in La Liga. Decent start, 12 wins in 16 and only the 1 defeat on the opening day. We've had a great bounce back since then. But that was this episode of the Realistic Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed today's episode, then please do drop a like. Most love to you. Have a fantastic day. And I'll see you for the next episode of the Realistic Career Mode as we come into the January transfer window. Yeah, very soon.